Welcome. In this lecture, I want to kind of set us up to talking about congruence mod M. And a lot of what I might start to say would actually be what I want to say is what the purpose of this lecture is. So I just kind of want to jump into it. Okay. So thinking of the integers as even or odd is really thinking about them from the perspective of 2, okay? Is viewing the integers, and then with a little bit of suggestivity, I'm going to put this in green, from the perspective of 2. Okay, and then we can do this, right, in other contexts, right? Or we already do this in other contexts, right? So we view, well, what about minutes? I did start with minutes there. Oh, I didn't start with minutes. Okay, so we view, like I have the integers as even or odd. So maybe I'll kind of put this in red. Okay, so we could view minutes, right? So minutes are usually viewed from the perspective of 60, right? So minutes, particularly after the hour, or like what the minute hand is doing, right? So we view minutes after the hour, from the perspective of 60. Oops, how do I spell perspective? I think I'm doing okay. Right? We view, I try to do these in the same order as that. I get excited and then I forget or something. So hours, from the perspective of, right, from, usually when I'm talking about what time it is, I'm talking about from this perspective of 12 or 24, from the perspective of 12 or 24, depending on which way of computing the time you're doing, whether I'm using AM, PM or not. Okay, we view cents. So we view cents from the perspective of, right, we usually talk about them. We usually don't talk about more than 100 cents at a time. So usually from the perspective of 100. Okay. What are other ones? Days in the week from the perspective of 7. Okay. And there are reasons why. Why would we want to view things like this? Okay. So this way of viewing things allows us, so it's going to allow us to do a lot of like shortcuts in computations and proofs and so on. Okay, so this view, I guess I'm going to actually write this down here. So this view allows shortcuts in computation and proofs. And I would say like this rich theory, including generalizations of, let's say, I'm going to write something up on the right-hand side. So generalizations of, and then I can write up here. So, right, so if I could write Let's write this equation. I haven't used orange yet here, and I've got so much stuff going on. It'd be nice to use a new color. So if I had 2x plus 2y, and I said that I wanted this to equal 2z plus 1, and I was asked, what are there integer solutions to this, like integers I could plug in? Well, I could look at this and I could say, so this side is even, i.e. congruent to 0 mod 2. And this side over here is going to be, well, I'm going to do yellow to do something close to green without being green. Okay, this is odd. So this is going to be i.e. congruent to 1 mod 2. Okay, so there are no integer solutions. Okay, so no integer solutions. You cannot find integers x, y, and z, which are going to satisfy that equation, okay? And this kind of thing you can generalize. Like if you see, are there any solutions, integer solutions to this equation? Well, you can look at it mod different integers, particularly prime integers. And this is a whole big theory. But there's a lot, congruence mod. A number is like, it's such a rich set of tools and theory. So it's worth like delving into. Okay, so I hope that made some sense and also has gotten you a little bit excited to see what this is. And I will see you in the next lecture.